Hello. So I had a request here from ProCow. This was to see one of his ACs. This is the Silence, going against Dr. Siegel as far as the whole lightweight championship thing goes. Now, technically, this is more of a lightly armed midweight, but whatever. We'll count it. So yeah, he's entirely a melee-based AC. Not really optimized for Formula Front at all. But got his AI basically working, got the parts mostly in there. He actually normally uses the Elf-3, which doesn't exactly exist in this, so he was given the Elf-2 instead. Figure it should be pretty comparable. And alright, let's see how this goes. Okay, getting the big open map first. Yeah, it was interesting to see this thing during tests, because it was really good at dodging shots at the last second. There is one little change that was made to it, and I've adjusted the tuning accordingly. And that was the head that it uses. It's actually the Mayfly head, not the drone that I ended up using. But I adjusted the tuning to be pretty much the same, so we should be all matching up as far as that goes. Basically, since it already had the defense in place, just went and put it towards ECM and cooling instead to match up the stats more or less. I feel like overall it got a better mix of stats, like slightly higher is what I mean by that. So it's only got 4 shots of its Neo, that's an insta-kill parry blade here. I get the feeling that it's mostly for looks. Obviously the AI is going to kind of suck when it comes to parry blades. They're really bad at using them, it's kind of a miracle if they ever hit. But, yes, okay. So far, the Dr. Siegel is pulling it off. And he appears to have lost track. He does have a radar, so he won't lose track for long. And really what this is just going to come down to is just that one hit, so... see what goes there. He gets slashed in return. Come on, get that parry in. Yeah. I don't really see this thing winning. There were a number of requests, actually, that came along with this one. Unfortunately, I don't really have the time left over today to do all of them, but I'm gonna get to all of them. Another one was to see a fight involving Dark Weapon, another one of his, as well as a fight between the community... Wait, did I put in... No, I didn't. I'm looking under the wrong thing. Another fight was to see... the remade Tempest against all the community ACs. I may eventually end up overwriting them. We'll kind of see where that ends up panning out to. Just kind of in general, I don't know. I was kind of figuring that the community ACs wouldn't end up getting used as much. Since, you know, after all the grudge matches and whatever else you really want to call it, it didn't seem like there were going to be a lot of them. I was going to keep a lot of pro cows around because they were some of the weirder builds, so you know, like any weird builds I'd still keep in there. I just mean like the personal ACs. I'd probably save one slot for my own, just because I always want to test it against stuff. But it seemed like we ended up with a lot of machine gun and missile builds. Alright, come on there, Silence. Yeah, those cuts in. He's set up to be pretty defensive, by the way. I set up more for dodging than outright aggression. This is mostly because whenever you set them to absolute aggression, they kind of have this weird thing where they end up completely overshooting the other guy a lot. So I went for kind of on the lower end of defensive, just to kind of see where that went. I'd say he's doing unfortunately well here. That's not something I want to see. Come on, let the new guy have a chance. Actually, I'm gonna have to go and test this guy against the Mountain next. I don't really think he'll have a chance against the Mountain, to be honest. But we'll see. Mostly because the Mountain uses the Selena, and that thing is an outright beast. Feels like with a few changes, this could be a little bit more Formula Front viable, as it were. So first things first, let's go and change his AI a little bit. this is the wrong one. So yeah, he's set for absolute short range. We'll go ahead and, we'll set him for about here for attack, I think. Now, operation-wise, let's see what happens if we completely dump these off. Basically what he was set to do, he's supposed to close in with a parry at first, and then assuming in that first 30 seconds he'd end up running through most of his shots, and then he's supposed to try going for a slash, then he's supposed to try going for a wave, and then slash, and then wave, and yeah. Yeah, I keep thinking with the weird color scheme that I'm expecting to find this guy in the Weirdo team, which was largely named that because Cypress was there, and that guy's a friggin' weirdo. Alright. Let's see how he does now. And I will say I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should have given him the dagger blade instead of the elf 2. Right. He's slightly better, maybe, at closing in. Thing is, he's not going to be as good at dodging. And usually, whenever they manage to dodge and then attack from the side, that's the real benefit of having an actual parry build. Now, I wish that I could have taken a look at the AI preferences of Mr. Pokey. That's one of Azur's builds. Because that thing seemed pretty spot on as far as a lot of their settings should be. And unfortunately, he said also that it's just going to be a little bit weird as far as their settings go to ever make them actually properly compensate for how the parry blade works. If it was just like a shootout spike, yes, that would absolutely break the game. But it's the only way it could have potentially worked. I mean, they ended up making it work that way in later games, and it's not like the AI was too much better. Actually, some of the AI that comes about in 5th gen is kind of laughable. In some cases, intentionally so. I mean, he's got more slashes in, so I guess there's that. Go for that cut. Missed. Go for it. What are you doing? You have to multi-cut in that case. Melee builds in Formula Front in a nutshell. Alright, so I don't really see him winning this in any real capacity without at least getting his parry blade in. I think we'll just go ahead and test him out against the mountain and kind of see what happens there. And then kind of call it at that point. There we go. Go fight in the actual mountains. Come on, silence. Oh, okay, that was a bad exchange. So that didn't work out so well. Okay, sorry, Cal, this, I don't think this guy's gonna be able to do it, and then, do the whole thing where it turns out I completely misremembered this or misread it or something. Anyhow, I'll get to the other ones as soon as I can. It's not a whole lot of prep time today, so there's that. It's kind of a very back and forth kind of day. Anyway, more as it comes. Let me know if you have any other requests.